This next one is paying homage to not only my opponent, but also placing a high value on having a regular chess club that you can go to. My development as a chess player was not from playing countless blitz games. I saw some players develop that way, especially some of those that were close to my age in Georgia. They were able to play constant blitz, the House of Pain, the Atlanta Chess Center. And I had a very different development because I would come week after week to Dakota Coffee Works in Dothan, Alabama, and I would play against older gentlemen, and we played longer games. So I calculated each week I played long games, and I calculated week after week after week. We didn't play blitz unless it was a quick tournament and back then blitz wasn't even a rating category. So it was just quick chess. We would play like game in 15 was quick chess. That was the fastest we would play. So I developed a habit early as I was young of calculating. And I see a problem now with the COVID age that the game's getting faster and faster, and the types of mistakes made by young players is being impulsive, and they aren't developing those calculation skills like I believe players of generations before that didn't just have access to sit down and play anybody they want worldwide on the internet. So I think this training game is got value in and of itself, but the main value is if you have the availability to play players in person that are similar in strength week after week, don't just play blitz. Play longer games and take time to prepare. Because my opponent in this game, and at the time I was white, I was 1725, and this was in 2005, so not long after our previous game. My opponent, Tim Bond, is 1868. I know at his peak he was around 2150, and that was prior to the member service area. He showed me some of his best games back in the 80s and 90s, and was very impressed. But Tim, I would consider my first teacher, even though if you ever asked him, he would definitely say he was never my teacher. We never did any formal lessons. But we played so many games, and Tim had a style that, even to this day, I very much respect. As a player who came out of the Fisher boom and that generation, he believed in a lot of Fisher philosophies that you stick to your guns. You play the same openings every time. And that's what I really respected about Tim. And Tim began to teach me at a very early age that preparation is key for success in chess. And knowing that Tim was going to play the same openings, I would prep to play our just games week after week. And I think it was a beautiful thing because Tim's rating had fallen all the way to its floor, or very, very close, at 1800 when I had started playing chess around 2003. And we had a meet in the middle type situation. I graduated high school in 2006, and both of our ratings, as I was crossing 2000 for the first time, Tim got up to about 1980 or so. And us playing games against each other week after week, and me coming after him in different ways and preparing, it taught me a lot of different openings, is why I'm so versatile today. And it got Tim sharper, playing against a young, aggressive opponent that was hungry. So it was mutually beneficial partnership. And I think it's important to have that type of relationship with other players if you can develop it. And it's why I so fully encourage you to find a chess club in your area if available. I know, especially with COVID times, it can be difficult, but do what you can to find longer games to play against. Take them seriously and calculate, because those calculations muscle atrophy. The blitz is the last thing in your game to go, and it makes people feel good when they're having good blitz results, but blitz and real chess, two completely different things. Let's jump into this game. So after e4, and yeah, I played e4. One time period I was actually, pretty aggressive, pretty mean. I played e4, and Tim was an e5 player all the way. And Tim was a big fan of the Marshall, and I knew this and was prepared. I mean, these days, I like the delayed exchange, and this is what I teach to my students. And I have multiple games on the Palm Beach Chess YouTube channel with it. B3 and Bishop B2. And I love these ideas. You can go Queen E2 and even Castle Queenside, depending upon what Black is doing, and throw your kingside pawns. Or just play the solid Castle Kingside, and you get a game. And in the long term, you're trying to play against those double pawns. So it's a little something. Nothing to be proud of, but nothing to be ashamed of either. So after knight f6, castle, and we're limping in, and boom, we have ourselves our Marshall. And I had done some prep. Knight takes, rook takes, and it should be noted, and Tim surprised me because I had gotten him a few times. One of our next games, he played knight f6 against me, which is the old line. And you should definitely know how to face this. d4, rook e1, and then when I got in this position, I thought I'd screwed up because it just didn't make sense how Black was getting such a vicious attack. And sometimes you can play something that you know is bad because you have a young, inexperienced opponent. And Tim taught me a lesson on this one. So this is a pause your video moment. What would you do with white? All right, keeping going. Queen f3 is the way to go. Black can keep that tension if he likes, but after bishop e3, rook in hand, bishop takes f7, love it. Queen takes f8, h takes g4, and after knight d2, should be noted that white has no trouble here and went on to win this game from 1968 with bishop d5, bishop takes f3 coming. The bishops and the rooks are going to outdo the queen here. So that's how we handle that old school Marshall plan. But the main line is c6, and that's what Tim played in the game. d4, tickle on the rook. Got to stop the mate threat. And if it's not mate, it's heavy casualties. Queen h3. And we're going through the motions here. Queen d3. So rook a e8. And keep in mind, if something like bishop f3, we just go queen f1. So rook a e8, knight d2, covering key squares. And I know a4 is more than likely the main line or one of the top moves here, but I had analyzed this move probably with like Fritz 5 or 6 at the time and was happy with it. And this is a bad move actually, and it shows how dangerous the Marshall can be. To give an alternative line, let's look at Queen F1. And this is the most solid line, which, according to Correspondence Chess, leads to a draw. So Queen H5, F3, with the give back, Queen F2, takes, and White has given that pawn in order to get this playable position, but as far as engines are concerned, this is equal to, as the one weakness is holdable for black on e6, and that anchored knight on d5 is quite strong. But my move was bishop d1, and here black missed a huge opportunity. In the main game, he played knight takes e3, but when you're playing the Marshall, you got to go all out and be aggressive. And f5 is very good for black, because after takes, f3, trying to get out of the mess, rook g6, and black's got full harmony of his pieces. The attack is here, and there's really no way to get out of it. Bishop takes g3. So that's definitely what Tim should have done after bishop d1, f5, and go for it. But knight takes e3 was played, and once that opportunity is missed, the rest of the game, White's pretty much in the driver's seat for the most part. Knight f1, stop the mate. Bishop f3, making sure there's no bishop d5 nonsense. Saying, all right, let's trade. Marshall players never want to trade for good reason. It's all about the attack. And the bishop pair is gone. Queen d3 again seeking trades. Queen f3 is much stronger. Hit the d pawn, get a better square, double up the rooks, do work. But queen d3, he's not missing the opportunity to play f5 again. And this is why queen f3 was stronger as well, because capturing the d pawn would have come with check. Now here, a4 is the best way to go. And if he plays f4, we just trade queens and we get what we want. But I play f4, a knee-jerk reaction. And black should definitely play bishop takes. And after bishop b8, f4, and it's a roughly equal position, but a slip by white can cost you the game here. Tim went with queen h5 and g5. So he's going for it a different way. And I'm doing what I've always done when I'm being attacked, trying to neutralize. Queen f3 again is the way to go, but I blew up the position with c4. And takes is good for black. Can't miss those opportunities to blow open the position and make your bishop better. He went queen g6, tickle on the b. Gotta defend the d pawn at this point. And white's pieces are coming alive. After king f2, I'm running. Everything's barely holding together here. King g2, and now I'm able to attack again. Looking for that queen trade, and the passed c-pawn is going to be menacing as we move forward. And Tim makes an uncharacteristic blunder because he misses where I placed my queen on e3. Check. Check. Missed that. And he resigns at this point. So overall, this game is more ideas in preparation. And the mistake is, after I moved away from Alabama and I had accomplished my goals as a chess player. 2012, I became Alabama state champion and the first national master in my home state in over 20 years. And I had accomplished all the goals that I'd set out for myself when I first started playing chess. Moving to go to graduate school at Mississippi State, I neglected playing in person, only playing online, and I really haven't improved that much since. My ratings changed by 75 USCF points in almost 10 years. So nothing to be proud of. And if I would have continued playing in a club on a weekly basis and continued calculation and actual training, I would have gotten stronger, and I believe I would have a higher title by now. So the mistake is if you lose motivation and you don't provide the time to do proper training, you're not going to improve. And that's really the mistake. I miss those weekly club games, and I definitely think that if you have the opportunity, you should be playing in a weekly club. And don't hesitate to set goals for yourself. And once you accomplish them, set new ones. Like in my case, becoming an FM.